Sabaidi Pinong. Today I'll show you how to make JEOW BONG, which is a smoky, spicy dipping sauce. We'll be using dried Thai peppers. We'll also be using Guajillo peppers, garlic, shallot, lemongrass, fresh Kaffir lime leaves, ginger and galangal root, palm sugar, a little bit of salt, fish sauce, Padaek, which is fermented fish sauce, a neutral oil, I use vegetable, MSG. Now we'll usually use cow skin, but it's very hard to find, so I'll be using pork skin today in this recipe. Other options are dried shrimp, and then you can also use the pork floss, which is a dried, shredded pork product. It's very good. You could also use the pork sung, which is a little more finer grain. I really recommend doing the frying of the ingredients outdoors if you have the means. The air will be super spicy once we get those peppers going. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to see more content like this. All right, so we're gonna be adding our pork skin and our dried shrimp to a bowl, submerge those in water, and then we'll add just a little bit of salt to the pork skin and allow that to soak. Then we'll prep all the ingredients for frying, slicing our lemongrass, our galangal root, and ginger root into really thin slices. The thinner the better because they'll fry a lot faster. The same goes for the shallot. We'll get those peeled and sliced down into thin slices. And we'll do the same for the garlic. We'll peel it and slice it into those thin slices. Moving on to the peppers, I just pluck the hard stems off of the dry Thai pepper. I leave the seeds in those, but for the guajillo, I cut the top off, cut it down the side, and strip away all of those seeds. This recipe as is very spicy. If you want a less spicy recipe, also remove the seeds from your Thai peppers. That's how you're gonna get less spice and less heat in your JEOW BONG. And then I like to cut those into 1-inch sections so that they fry evenly, and then set those aside. We'll pound down our palm sugar. You could substitute white sugar or coconut sugar would work well in this recipe too. Add your pan or wok to medium to high heat and allow the oil to slowly come to about 375 degrees. Once it's a bubbly, rolling oil, add all of your aromatics. And while that's frying, I like to put a strainer over top of a bowl so that when we remove our deep fried aromatics, any excess oil can drip away from it so that it remains crispy and doesn't get soggy. We're gonna make all of our aromatics a deep golden brown, and then we'll remove those and then add our shallot. And we're gonna repeat this process with our lemongrass. We're gonna do it with the galangal root, the ginger root, and our Kaffir lime leaves. If any of your aromatics are soggy and not crisping up, then your oil is not hot enough. And here's your reminder that I always add all the ingredients and the measurements that I use in the description box below each video. I'll also include links to online retailers for some of these ingredients in case you don't have access to them locally. Once our aromatics are all deep fried, add them to a bowl and set aside. You can literally hear how crispy these ingredients are. Now let's get started on those peppers. So I'll add a little bit more oil because we do have a lot of peppers. I'll place both the guajillo and the Thai peppers in my wok and I'll begin to stir. This isn't something that you want to walk away from. You want to continue to agitate and stir the peppers as they cook. And you're looking for the peppers to be a very dark brown, slightly blackened color. This is what gives JEOW BONG its smoky flavor. Once all of our ingredients are deep fried and we've allowed the oil to drain from them, our next step is to grind those down. I'm using a Ninja blender. You could use a traditional blender or a food processor. And we'll do this to both the aromatics and the peppers. We'll grind those down to very fine pieces. We'll add them to a bowl, and then we're gonna set that aside. Then we're gonna come back to our pork skin, or if you chose to use the cow skin. We'll drain that really well and cut it into small bite-sized pieces. Then we'll also drain our shrimp. You could pound this down, but I like to leave whole pieces in my JEOW, and we'll let that drain. Add a clean pan or wok to low heat. Heat up your Padaek. Add your sugar and your MSG and stir that until both are well dissolved. Then we'll pour in our aromatic and pepper mixture and get that stirred really well, adding fish sauce, our pork floss, and our pork skin and our soaked shrimp. And then once that cools a little bit, I use my hand to really mix that very, very well. And that's it. Simple, easy JEOW bong. This recipe made about 1.5 of these large containers, and I'll be sharing this with friends and family. And this pairs really well with fish, with sausage and sticky rice. And I also love to eat this with eggs in the morning. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Cup chai.